When was the last time this was PMCS? Disgusting. Hello there, you bloodthirsty curb-stomping sweethearts. It's been a while since I've been able to share with you any heroic tales of violence and valor. I figured this season we'd be covering some real hard-ass men and women, so we needed to change the venue. We needed an upgrade. What do you say? Big old fucking tank behind me. Let's kick off this season of gruesome heroism with a tale of Dwight H. Johnson. Now keep your pants on out there, tankers. This one's for you. Our tale began just before the Tet Offensive in January 1968. The MVA and the Viet Cong were starting to probe the defenses of the United States Expeditionary Force in preparation for an extended rectal probe via rusty bayonets produced in China. Thanks, China. The MVA massed a battalion-sized force. These were not the untrained rice farmers of the Viet Cong, but a well-trained force of devilish fighters. So when they came down on a platoon-sized element, they figured it was a done deal, right? Wrong, motherfucker. As usual, things started swimmingly for the commie pricks. They dropped a metric fuck ton of dick-ripping ass fuckery. They dropped a metric fuck ton of ammunition upon the American patrols, who promptly called for support. Now, according to friends and family, Dwight was an easygoing, hard to rattle, impossible to anger sort of guy. You know, the bright and cheery kind. Well, easygoing Dwight, he stayed back in base camp that day, and Dwight drank the blood of my enemies Johnson, hopped into his M48 with a throbbing sense of urgency and a need to end the hopes and dreams of entire families by same day delivering them and their sons home in buckets. Now, if you know a thing or two about tanks, you know that they run on tracks. And if you know anything about Vietnam, you know that the terrain loves to chew up track. So almost instantly, in the worst possible way, the tank throws track in the middle of the goddamn kill zone. Most people would start complaining, feeling sorry for themselves. You know, like hippies. But not Dwight. No, sir. He grabbed the only weapon available to him, a standard issue Colt 45, topped out of his tank, and ran into the jungle to plant seeds of capitalism into Marxist minds. When ambushed from multiple positions, outnumbered 4-1, it is reasonable to assume we may have attained the ultimate pucker factor. But for Dwight, no, it was just a target-rich environment. He wades into the jungle, shooting people in the face left and right. Dwight got close, really, really close to the enemy. In fact, at some point, Johnson gets his hands on a submachine gun, charges into the jungle like a prepubescent Call of Duty player, and kill streaks his way through the entire enemy line. And when he ran out of ammo, he smashed the damn thing over the enemy's skull, breaking the stock into 1,000 pieces. No shit, that's what happened. I mean, seriously, imagine you're an NBA regular. You think you're winning. Victory is at hand. When all of a sudden, this Django Unchained motherfucker from Detroit pops out of the foliage, full-on war boner. Next thing you know, he's murdering you uncontrollably via blunt force trauma to the brain housing group. And before the lights go out, all you can think about is, maybe communism isn't so great. But it doesn't quite end there. Dwight fights his way back to the tanks. He rescues the gunner of his sergeant's tank, who was severely wounded, hops in the turret, and starts firing the main gun into the MVA ambushers. Now, he kept on firing until the main gun basically melted. With the cannon out of commission, Johnson exits the tank, gets on top of the goddamn thing, and starts hosing down the pride of Ho Chi Minh with a 50 cal, American made. According to one of the men on the ground who witnessed everything, and I quote, "When it was all over, it took 3 men and 3 shots of morphine to hold Dwight down. He was raving mad. He tried to kill the prisoners we had rounded up. When the smoke cleared, the MVA battalion had retreated. Whether this was due to support artillery, close air support, or being tired of sending whole dudes in and dragging lasagna out, courtesy of Dwight, the Destroyer of Worlds Johnson. Well, that is up to you. Dwight Johnson is the only tanker to earn the Medal of Honor in Vietnam. His heroic actions are credited with turning the tide of what should have been a complete massacre. Now you see, even the most unlikely, humble of people can turn into spine extraction aficionados when properly motivated. And don't forget that, China. Join us next time when I tell you a tale of a sweet Puritan lass, Hannah Dustin, whose love language was removing the gallbladders of her enemies with nothing but her bare hands, and abiding love for her homeboy Jesus. How do we start this piece of shit? Ugh. See you soon. Toot toot.